How is going on today? I'm here with my Game of Thrones Season 7 Episode 2 titled Stormborn episode review, recap, thoughts video, whatever you want to call it. And overall, holy fucking shit, what an episode we had here tonight. This was an incredible episode. So much happened in this episode. So many new things, finally have things that we speculated were going to happening. You had an amazing ending finale episode, or scene, I should say, not episode. Amazing finale scene. Just tremendous stuff. So many goosebumps throughout this episode. This was just absolutely incredible. This might wind up being up there as one of my favorite episodes of Game of Thrones that happened. This was just incredible stuff from start to finish. You had a lot of great things, a lot of reunions, a lot of direction, and just an awesome episode 2. It's usually the case with these seasons of Game of Thrones. Episode 1 is usually kind of like a setup, and in Season 2, that's where it really starts getting things into gear. That's where it just kicks off and starts going 100 miles per hour. So, incredible episode 2. Very excited for episode 3, especially considering the preview we got for episode 3. Next week's going to be even better. So, very pleased with how this week's episode came out. Like I said, phenomenal episode. Probably going to be up there with top Game of Thrones episodes. So, really much enjoyed Stormborn. Excellent episode. So, I'm going to try and do the format I did last time, but I'm doing it a little bit different. I'm just going to go by the where they're at, like Dragonstone, King's Landing, Riverlands, Winterfell, Old Town, and Narrow Sea. So I'm just gonna go by locations. I'm not gonna go through each scene, what happened. So that's pretty much what I'm gonna do. So all these things won't be in order. So just a little heads up. So the first thing we actually saw was Daenerys at Dragonstone. Of course, it was pouring rain at Dragonstone. Of course, Tyrion had to pop in line that there was a storm similar to this one when she was born, hence her nickname Stormborn. So, it was a good opening scene. Daenerys pretty much questioned Varys' commitment to her. She pretty much called him out on the fact that, he's been known to serve, various people and, commit to them and not really be as loyal as she thinks. Especially considering the fact that, he was the person that Jorah was reporting to when, Jorah was spying on her, and the fact that he was the one that actually sent the assassins to kill her in Season 1. So she's kind of calling him out now, which to me, it's like, wouldn't you want to do this right when you recruited him? Why would you wait till you're about to take the throne to question him now? So I thought that was kind of odd that she waited till now to do it. But Varys, the man with many words, just was able to talk his way, into staying with her. Pretty much gave his reasonings and pretty much, was able to convince her that, I don't serve you, I don't serve these people, I serve the realm. But you know what? If I believe you're the best person for this job, I will follow you, and you will have my loyalty. And he pretty much talked his way into staying. So that definitely thought that was a great way to kick off the episode. Daenerys met with Melisandre appearing at Dragonstone and summoning in front of her, and pretty much telling Daenerys, hey, you know what? Hey, there's a prophecy that needs to be fulfilled. I believe you have a part in it with the prince as promised. And Daenerys was kind of like, I'm not a prince, I'm a princess. If saying the prince's promise, obviously you're not referring to me. Then of course Missandei had a translate the Valyrian language, and then Melisandre pretty much said that, you know what, I believe you have a role to play, as is another, the King of the North, Jon Snow. And I just lost my shit because Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen being together is something I've wanted since Season 1. So to see it finally come to life is very exciting, and I'm really excited to see how this turns out. But I should bring up Jon Snow. Tyrion is kind of like Jon Snow, Ned Stark's bastard, and Daenerys, like, him. Tyrion explains that the relationship he had with Jon Snow. The little meeting they had in Season 1 when they rode to the Wall. Tyrion pretty much was putting over Jon Snow to Daenerys, saying that he's a good man, I trust him. You should summon him to talk to him. And Daenerys agrees, so she sends a raven to Winterfell, which we'll get into later on. We have Daenerys in the room planning her steps to attack King's Landing. You had Olenna in there. You had Ellaria, I believe her name is, Sand. I kind of butcher her name all the time, so apologize for that. So they're planning the attack. Yara and Theon were there as well. Pretty much what they came upon was that the Dothraki and Unsullied were going to attack Castle Rock, to take over Castle Rock. That's Lannister's home, with other houses being House Martell and Tyrell. We're going to be the armies to attack King's Landing with Daenerys, so that way that it's not foreigners, it's not Unsullied or foreigners like Dothraki coming in to invade their homes. That's what the whole case Cersei is trying to give it to the houses right now, is the fact that you're going to have these foreigners come in and take our lands. So to avoid that happening, they're going to have forces within the country come and invade instead of the Dothraki. So that's what the army's going to come into play. And then how they're going to do that is that Yara is going to escort Alleria back to her home and pick up her army with the Iron Fleet and then sail to King's Landing. So she had her whole plan made with everyone in there, so that was a good plan. So that's what happened in Dragonstone. King's Landing, obviously, we had Cersei recruit the Tarleys, Samuel Tarly. How do I pronounce it? Sometimes hard to pronounce these names on the spot. She had his father, who we saw in Season 6, or introduced to in Season 6, Randall. Pretty much she's trying to explain that we need to form together to fight off Daenerys Targaryen because she's this foreigner trying to invade this land, and the fact that she's the Mad King's daughter, it doesn't add up very well for her being the Iron Throne. So Cersei's pretty much trying to get people to fight on her side. We saw her in the lower parts of the Red Keep, her going through the dragon skeletons that Robert Baratheon kept, and then Qyburn was able to introduce this huge-ass bow and arrow that they're going to use to kill dragons or fight against the dragons, because the whole point is if a dragon get injured, a dragon can be killed. So definitely like the way that Cersei's thinking and that they're getting weapons to counteract the dragons with. So makes the war more interesting because, on paper, it's fairly obvious Daenerys can obviously crush Cersei, but now with this big-ass arrow they can use, definitely evens the odds up. So it's going to be one hell of a war when that comes into place. In the Riverlands, we had two great things happen there. Arya reunited with Hot Pie, which I thought was good, even though Arya didn't seem all that excited to see Hot Pie again. But Hot Pie informed her that the Boltons were dead and that Jon Snow is now the king of the North and rules in the North, and Arya didn't believe him at first, but the way her face was when Hot Pie told her, and the fact that, she called him out, she didn't want to believe it, she said, "You're lying." And he's like, "Why would I lie to you? I know that's your brother, why would I lie to you?" And just her facial expression, because she was so unkeen about going to King's Landing to kill Cersei. But once she learns that her family's back in control of the North, her entire complexion changes. So that was a great scene. Phenomenal acting right there on part of Maisie Williams. That was tremendous expression work she did. So that was an amazing scene. And then we had Arya in the forest, starting some fire before she is surrounded by a pack of wolves. And then you see this one big, gigantic dire wolf come out, and immediately you know who that is. And Arya just looks at the wolf, dire wolf, and just goes, "Nymeria?" Her old wolf, or dire wolf from Season 1 that she had, and that she had to shoo away so the hound wouldn't kill her. That was incredible to see. All the dire wolves besides Nymeria and I believe Ghost are dead. Everyone else is dead. Summer, Shaggy, Grey Wind, and all the other ones are dead except for those two. So to see Arya be reunited with Nymeria, it's pretty awesome. And Nymeria runs away because I think Nymeria recognizes who it is, so she runs off, and Arya's kind of like that. "You're not Nymeria." It's kind of like trying to put it down like that's not her. So hopefully that comes back into play. Maybe Nymeria saves Arya in a situation. I don't know, but I'm really excited to see Nymeria back into play. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. So that's what happened in the Riverlands. Going to Winterfell, we had Jon Snow receive the letter from Daenerys Targaryen, summoning him to Dragonstone, which at first, Sansa kind of questioned, how do you know this letter's from Tyrion? Because Tyrion wrote it. And of course, Jon reads a quote that Tyrion told him in Season 1 that, that the rest of the world knows you're a bastard. I forgot exactly how it goes, but, they pretty much said that, the rest of the world know who you are. You shouldn't forget who you are either. If you know who you are, then they can't use it against you. Something like that. I don't know the exact quote off the top of my head, but something to that extent. And Sansa just questions it, and Jon's thinking about going to Dragonstone, and then Jon, of course, has his meeting in the hall, pretty much telling everyone that he's going to Dragonstone to meet Daenerys Targaryen. It's for their best interest. They need to fight together and band together to fight the army of the dead. There's dragon glass at Dragonstone. He needs to go there and mine it and make weapons out of it, and the best way to do it is to meet up with Daenerys, and she has 3 dragons on top of it, which, obviously dragons equal fire. So it's a win-win for him, but then, of course, Sansa springs, what if it's a trap? What if you go down there, they kill you, so that way they can take control of the North easily, and then, it's bickering back and forth between Jon Snow and Sansa. Sansa, she's just undermining everything Jon Snow's doing, and it's kind of getting annoying at this point. She's just causing problems on purpose, even though she does have points and valid reasons, but to me, Jon always has more valid reasons against her, so definitely more tension between the two of them. And then, of course, they had Jon Snow and Littlefinger in the crypts. Jon Snow paying respects to Ned Stark, which had a great statue in the crypts, by the way. They're dead unlike him. And then Littlefinger came in, and Jon pretty much, you know, you can tell Jon's just getting pissed in his face, and eventually, I guess to the point where, you know, Littlefinger says he loves his sister like he loved his mom, or loved her mom. Jon chokes him, throws him against the wall, and says, if you touch my sister again, I'll kill you myself. Walks away and sails off and names Sansa in control of the North while he's gone. So I'm really interested to see that's happening, because, well, how it's going to happen, because the way Sansa is going to control the North, maybe the Northmen might like her, the way she does things, better than Jon. So I think Jon leaving and having Sansa be in charge is definitely going to put a divide in the North. I feel like when he comes back, you know, they're going to question leadership and question who they want to, you know, fight under more. So I'm definitely interested to see how, when Jon comes back, see how the North's going to handle Sansa's leadership over his. So that definitely makes for a lot of tension right there, and it's going to make for great stuff. And then one thing I forgot to mention in Dragonstone was the Grey Worm in Missandei scene. Missandei. She's one of those names I can't pronounce very well, so excuse me. People thought that was a pointless scene, and I felt like it did its job. You know, the whole point of it was to, you know, showcase the vulnerability of Grey Worm. You know, the fact that, you know, he's supposed to be unsullied, he's not supposed to fear anything, but the fact that, you know, he has feelings for Melisandre, and that, you know, he doesn't want to lose her, and he fears losing her, and, you know, the fact that he's able to strip and, you know, even show his exposed, you know, cut down there. To me, it showed a lot about Grey Worm. I definitely think people are misseeing that, the vulnerability that he was showing to her. So I think people missaw that and just looked over, because I saw people saying that scene was pointless. But, you know, hey, we'd hate to see her naked, so she's a beautiful woman, so seeing her naked is a plus side for me. So, but I thought the scene accomplished was needed to accomplish. I just think it was kind of an oversight for some people. But that was something that happened in Dragonstone I forgot to mention until I just looked at my notes again. But yeah, Jon and Davos set out to Dragonstone, which is going to happen in the next episode, so I'm really happy about that. Old Town, we saw Sam trying to help Jorah. You know, one of the maesters pretty much told him that Greystill's too advanced, that he won't be able to help him. But Sam takes the matters in his own hands, sets up everything he can, and starts working on Jorah. You know, removing the grayscale and doing everything he can. So hopefully Sam cures Jorah, because I don't want to see him die. So it was good seeing Sam help him out there. And then we had the amazing finale scene, or ending scene, which was, of course, you know, Yara and Theon, you know, sailing with Alyra, you know, taking her back. And, you know, Yara and Alyra getting pretty hot, you know, they're kind of touching each other, getting hot. Theon's kind of like, all right, I'm out of here. But as Theon's leaving, a big hit hits their ship, and all of a sudden, their ship is under fire. It's getting shots taken down, and all of a sudden, the front end of the dragon comes flying down. Euron fucking Greyjoy comes in like a fucking boss and starts fucking everyone up. There's a huge battle between the fleets. Just absolutely madness going on. Yara's fighting. Theon's fighting. Euron's fighting. Two of the Sand Snakes are killed in battle by Euron. Just absolutely insanity going on. And it's an awesome fight sequence. The details, just the sparks of the fire going through, and just everything about it was an amazing scene right there. And come the end of it, you know, this Alyra was able to get captured. Euron was able to hold the knife to Yara's throat, about to kill her, and pretty much telling Theon an amazing quote, by the way. He called him a cockless coward, which I thought was great. And all of a sudden, Theon's kind of looking at Yara and looking at Euron, because Euron gets a blade to her throat, and he's kind of twitching a little bit. And then he drops his sword, and he just twitches and just jumps off the ship. So, I don't know what happened there with Theon. I don't know if he's transferring back to Reek, because that's what it seemed like. You know, he kind of just sat there and froze and didn't know what to do, so he just bailed like a coward. So, what's happening with Theon definitely is very interesting, because I was not expecting him to jump off the ship like that. I was expecting him to surrender and say, okay, take me with you. But him jump off the ship, and him, you know, kind of just laying in the ocean as all these ships are burning in front of him, I thought it was a great shot too, by the way. But Theon jumping off and just, you know, kind of sitting in the water while, you know, watching his sister get taken, I don't know what to think of it. It definitely brings a lot of interest to see what Theon's going to do, or why he did that. But, yeah, I'm very curious to see how that plays out, because I don't know if Theon is transferring back to Reek or what. But that was definitely, you know, something that was kind of like, why did he do that? So, that was the episode. Like I said, incredible episode. A lot happened, a lot of goosebumps, a lot of things come together. The preview for episode 3 was fantastic. We're going to get the Unsullied and Dothraki attack Castaway Rocks. So we're going to get that battle in episode 3. The meeting of Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen is going to happen in the preview. We saw Jon Snow entering the room where the Dragonstone throne is at. So that's going to be incredible because Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen is something I've been wanting to see since season 1. So to see that come to life is going to be very exciting to see how that plays out. And hopefully their allegiance plays out. And episode 3 should be absolutely awesome because episode 2, Stormborn, was tremendous in my opinion. So awesome episode. Really enjoyed it. This season's it's going to be a fun ride. You know, if we're getting a big battle next week already for episode 3, I think that goes to show you how big this season's going to be. So I'm very, very excited for next week. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please like below. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching the video.